you can't see me either. We're having some technical difficulties. There we go. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So, I realized that yesterday was the dark moon. Yesterday. And I was going to try to get this video made yesterday, but it just didn't happen because my life is crazy and busy right now. We are trying to get a brick and mortar store. We're trying to get all of this stuff together. And really, it's about getting the money together. But I'm also doing event coordinating for Fort Collins Pagan Pride and trying to get that going, and also trying to get other events going because I'd like to do more events throughout the year. But while I was out here in my garden, I was thinking, while I trim back these flowers, I could take the time to chit chat with all of you guys a little bit about the astrological energy that's going on right now and that dark moon that we just had. So today technically is the new moon. I guess to take this moment to just kind of talk about the difference. So the dark moon, like the full moon, is that moment when we have no moon, or the full moon when the moon is full. We see the entirety of it. The new moon is that first light of moon, obviously the new moon. I think that it's like a little thing, a little teeny difference. And then the dark moon only lasts for literally a few moments. I think it's like 3 minutes in technicality that we have a full moon or a dark moon. It could be a little bit longer than that, but it's not very long. So this energy is expanding on the opposite sides of the moon moment. So, anyways, we have the dark moon that we just had yesterday in Leo, and like Cancer, Leo is an energy of the heart. It is a loving, nurturing, encompassing energy, except for it's the masculine side. So Cancer is that feminine divine mother. Leo is that masculine divine father. And so we really have this loving energy right now that is providing us with this sense of pride and honor and integrity and love and nurturing and growth. And so that is the energy that we're getting from this dark moon. But I don't know about everybody else. I know in my world, however, yes, I am feeling that energy and I'm feeling that nurturing energy. It makes me want to get out in my garden. It makes me want to participate in the community. It makes me really productive and purposeful. There are some other things going on astrologically that are really causing some interesting turmoil. So first and foremost, we have a grand trine between the North Node and Mars and Uranus. So this is a really fiery start, like a fiery birthing energy that is like dramatically making change in your world. It could be something big, like we just had the opportunity to maybe get this brick and mortar location and like make a big change in our business. It could be something small, like you realized, you had a self-actualization and you're going to make those changes. It could be like from a grand perspective, you had a divine message that is telling you that you need to do this. And so, as always, if you're fluid and connected and encouraging that energy, it can be very productive, very beneficial. If you are not trying to get that newness, that something in your life, then it can be kind of disruptive because it can make you feel like you're getting thrown into this pool of change and you're not ready. And so sometimes we just have to sit back and we have to embrace that change. We have to let these things happen. Because if we don't let them happen, then we fight them, and then we fight that energy, and then we end up miserable and unhappy and uncomfortable in our own self. If you're wondering what I'm doing with the plant, I'm trying to catch the flowers before they all turn to seed pods. And the seed pods are awesome, but I'd like more flowers in my oils. Anyways, oh, hello bee. I know I smell like flowers. I've been trimming stuff all day. So this is a really like expanding, beautiful energy. However, we have this square with Saturn, and so with Saturn, it actually makes a grand cross. I wish I had my paper with me. I was gonna go get it, but then I forgot. So we have obviously the North Node and the South Node are always opposite each other. We don't typically equate this with like an important event because they're always opposite each other and they kind of go around in a circle together. However, because right now the North Node is in conjunct with Uranus and Mars, and then that is square to Saturn, and Saturn is in opposition to Mercury. Now, just saying that out loud, it seems like this really convoluted, like, oh my goodness, there's so much things going on there. But if we step back from that and we look at it with a more pictorial image, so we have this grand conjunction happening, which is fiery, motivating something new, birthing this new beginning. You know, it might be disruptive, but it's definitely causing this change. So we have this grand birthing process going on. Now, being square to Saturn, Saturn is this reminder that your actions affect the people around you, that you are in this ripple, and your ripple ripples out into this pool of other people's ripples. And how are these all going together? When you think about the rings of Saturn and how they, one, there's actually a lot of rings, but anyways, they are flowing and changing and spinning and moving, but they have to work all together. Otherwise, these meteors and rocks and comets and all of the things that have collected around Saturn would be colliding and sending in all different directions. So when we think about the energy of Saturn, it is that collective organizing energy that reminds us that our actions affect other people's actions, that there is no vacuum in which we live in. It is, we are all here together. So this square reminds us that in this birthing process, you need to be mindful of how your rebirth is then affecting the other people around you. So then Saturn being in opposition to Mercury, Mercury is that communication. It is the sharing of ideas. It is this, again, communicative energy where we're interacting with other people's energies. We are, again, not in a vacuum. And so when we have these oppositions, it is a reminder that our words and our actions and our communications with other people have consequences. And Saturn stands there and reminds us, and it highlights it. And for some of us, that can be overwhelming. It can be like a burden that you wear because, you don't, either A, you spend so much time thinking about how your actions are affecting other people and you're trying to compensate for that and you're trying to alter your behavior in order to best fit the people around you. Or B, you don't give a rat's butt about it and you just do whatever. I went to go cut this and there's a big orb weaver right here. Looks like a cone weaver. I don't know, I don't see a cone on the web. Go back in the plant so I can finish cutting. I spend a lot of time out here quietly humming or talking to myself. And so the wildlife in my backyard, and we're all friendly. Little spider's my pal. Anyways, so we have this opposition and this grand cross where it's saying like shed away the old and allow this new beginning, but keep in mind how your actions and your words and your behavior is in the big picture. And so that in itself is, it is a heavy energy. It's not just like, oh, we need to communicate nicer, but it's a heavy energy. It's an energy that is reminding us that we can do better. We can be better, and not just on an individual level, but on a grand scale, like everybody level. And, oh yeah, this spider caught a bumblebee. That's cycle of life in my planet right here. It's about balance and finding that balance with everything that is around you and allowing this new beginning to come through. And so we have that happening while we have this dark moon, which again is a time of new beginnings and creations. And it is in this dark moon, and the sun are conjunct with Ceres. Now, Ceres is the grain mother. She is the goddess of the crops. She is this bountiful energy. And so that conjunction reminds us of the bounty that we create. And to start and to build a better foundation. You know, we look around right now and we have all of these issues, like globally, with food distribution and supplies and all, you know, I mean, everywhere in the world we have issues with, you know, getting in products, getting out products, exchanging products, dealing with people. We've got so many problems. But that's because the foundation in which that we've built the society on is flawed. And all of these things are really coming to light. We've had this Pluto Eris square happening for a long time now. And together, those two energies are just like bubble all of the BS to the surface, get it all out. Let's just puke all that nastiness out of here and see it and look at it. And then we as the society have to decide what we're to do with it. And at moments like this, with this new moon in Leo and this grand cross and this energy that we have with this conjunction, really all speak to allowing that transition to happen and building this better foundation so that in the future we don't create this cycle again. I mean, if you look throughout history, we create this cycle over and over again because we're constantly in communities and societies that are filled with greed and corruption, and nobody calls it out, nobody says anything. So Saturn is here saying, shouting big from the top of its mountain, like, hey, everybody, look at how your actions affect the people around you. Look at how you are creating these ripples, and are those ripples turning into riptides, hurting the people around you? Or are you creating a beautiful, luscious pond where everybody's energy is flowing and beautiful? I mean, really, what kind of energy are we creating? What kind of world are we creating? And so as we rebirth in ourselves and we allow these changes to happen and take place, keep in mind the type of person that you want to be. You know, we as an individual cannot fix the world, but as individuals, if every single one of us took the time to be that better person and be compassionate and caring and speak when we need to say something, stand up for injustice, make the right choice, if every single person did that, or even if just the majority of the people did that, we would have a better society. You know, I tell my kids all the time, actions speak louder than words. And we say, oh, we're a loving, nature, connecting, beautiful, whatever. But then do your actions really represent that? Do you go out and take those steps and create those actions? There's flies getting my coffee. But do you make those changes? Are you the, you know, creator of your reality, creating the reality in which you say that you're creating? Or do you say, I love nature, and then you throw trash on the ground? Like, those are the kind of, I mean, I have an animosity. I know that's a strong word, but I have an animosity towards people who litter. And it is so strong that when I see someone drop something out the car, I have to control my face and then politely say, you dropped something. I watched a dad let his kid throw a soda and a french fry trash out the window the other day while we were at Harbor Freight, and I just they were too far away for me to run over there before they drove away, but the look on my face was very clear, like what you just did was unacceptable. And if everybody did that, if everybody gave those people a dirty look and was like, oh my gosh, you just threw that on the ground, that's disgusting, go pick that up. I mean, you don't have to say it like that. Normally I do, I'm real polite about it. I'm like, oh, excuse me, you dropped something. And I smile and I point at the thing that they obviously just threw on the floor. And some of them just walk away rudely. other ones say, oh, you're sorry, and they pick it up, and I'm like, there's a trash right there. Sometimes I'll even say that, oh, you dropped something, I see a trash right there. And then they politely pick it up and they go throw it away. But if we all made those changes, there wouldn't be litter on the ground, because there would always be somebody standing there, and you don't have to be a Susan about it. You don't have to be like, you dirty person, pick that shit up off the floor. You just have to say, oh, excuse me, miss, you dropped that. And pretending like you don't know that they did it on purpose makes it not so rude, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those little white lies that makes it smooth over. But if we all held those expectations and we all made that change, then we wouldn't have litter outside. If, you know, we just made those subtle changes, if we, like I said, if we spoke up for injustice, if we did the right thing, if our actions made those changes, we would have a much better society. And with what's going on astrologically right now, it's very, very much emphasizing that. So I also want to just take one moment to talk about some energy that I'm hoping is clearing up. I didn't double check, but Venus and its activity lately has been stirring jealousy, discomfort, distrust, this kind of uncomfortable-ish energy. So you might have noticed that in your relationships that you had this distrust, this jealousy, these things come to the surface. And I always find it funny because, you know, there are a lot of us who have spouses who don't necessarily believe in what we believe in. And so when we say things like, oh, Venus is square to Mercury, I don't know if that's what just happened, but I'm going to guess that that's what happened. When we have those when they're like, I don't believe you, all right, whatever. But when I talk to like my sister or my friend, like other people about their spouses, and everybody says, oh, my spouse just went through my phone, or my spouse just accused me, or my spouse said that I was being, whatever, like my spouse came at me saying something. My significant other, you don't have to be married. I guess some people think that only means married. But anyways, they like, oh, mine did too. And somebody else like, oh, mine did too. And then we're all like, oh my God, all of our spouses just did the same thing. It's coincidence? I think not. But so you might have noticed that. You might have felt that energy in yourself and been a little distrusting, been apprehensive, or felt uncomfortable. And when we have those moments arise, just as always, we need to take that time for healthy communication to say, hey, I'm feeling a little insecure right now. Were you just looking at that dude, or man, or woman, or whatever, or person? And, just have that conversation and be in a healthy place in your relationship. Or when someone comes at you and says, hey, you were talking to him, you can say, oh, yeah, it's not a big deal. We were talking about this or that or whatever. Don't worry. Don't worry, So when that jealousy comes up, you have to be able to have those conversations, and you have to be able to move forward from them. You can't get so caught up in them that you turn into the green monster of jealousy. Or in opposite of that, you can't react to someone when they come at you because they don't know how to deal with these feelings or these insecurities. If you come back at them like I would come, I do not speak because I am at this like higher righteous place. I speak because I have learned from my actions, and that when someone comes at you with their insecurities and then you cuss and yell back at them, it does not help the situation. It impedes the communication. And so sometimes we just have to take a minute to, ooh, there's spider mites on here. In case you didn't know what a spider mite is, I don't know if you can see them. Come onto the edge of the plate again, little red spider. Can you see it? They're teeny tiny. Tiny little red spiders. See? Oh, and a fly. Is it gonna? All right, well, you can Google it, I guess. I was trying to show you. There's one right. See it? Oh, see that little orangish speck right here? Right. Oh, he's crawling away from me. Right there? That is a teeny tiny spider mite. Now, I don't typically kill bugs in my garden. Okay, that's a lie. I kill some bugs in my garden. Spider mites are on the list. Spider mites, Japanese beetles, because their behavior on a plant can be destructive to your plant. So I have a bucket of soapy water and pliers that I just run around my garden with, and I clip grasshoppers and beetles and bugs that don't belong. I recently been finding these yellow looking ladybugs, and they're bigger than ladybugs, but they're yellow. I'm guessing they're invasive. They don't belong here. I've never seen them before. So, anyways, back to the energy of the astrology. Flow with the energy. Allow it to help you, not hinder you. Don't fight it. You know, and sometimes if it's not something that you're ready to deal with, like say this rising energy of new beginnings, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so stressed out, I just can't handle this. Just step back and take a breath and let this moment pass. Just relax and go through it and just breathe and be in the moment and allow that change to happen. Tap into that heart energy of Leo and take those deep heart breaths and just relax. So, I know this is going up a little bit late, but honestly, I think the most potent energy right now isn't actually the moon's energy. It's this Saturn, Uranus, Mars, Mercury nodes thing going on, which, like I said, is just this like, phew. So, you know, as you come through these processes and you know, make these changes, just be patient with yourself and, you know, let your actions match your words and you know, make those better choices to be that better person, to be the bigger, better person that you want to be. And I know it's really frustrating, but you can do it. And we can all come through this, and we can all grow and become as beautiful people and create this beautiful world. So, as always, if you have any questions, don't forget to ask and comment and like and subscribe and all of that great stuff. And I'm thankful for all of you here today. And I will talk to you all soon. Many blessings.